Hello dear friends, welcome back again to another video from my YouTube channel. Dear friends, in our previous video, we discussed the very important concept with respect to the female reproductive system, menstrual cycle. In this video, we're going to understand one more very interesting concept of human reproduction, that is fertilization. First we'll define the fertilization, then we'll try to understand the process of fertilization in case of human beings. This fertilization word, we come across this word in the very beginning chapter of our second year PUC. Fertilization, it is also called as a syngamy. It is also called as a syngamy. Then, how we can scientifically define the word fertilization? Fertilization means the process of fusion. The process of fusion. Fusion means mixing, mingling. The process of fusion of sperm and ovum to form zygote. This is the scientific definition of the word fertilization. Fertilization ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ವೀರ್ಯ ಮತ್ತು ಅಂಡಾಣು, ಹೆಣ್ಣು ಲಿಂಗಾಣು ಮತ್ತು ಗಂಡು ಲಿಂಗಾಣು ಎರಡರ ಸಮ್ಮಿಲನವನ್ನು ನಾವು ಫರ್ಟಿಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. मेल गैमेट और फीमेल गैमेट दोनों मिलना, दोनों एक दूसरे में फ्यूज होना, उसको हम क्या बोल रहे हैं? फर्टिलाइजेशन बोल के बुला रहे हैं. नाउ टू अंडरस्टैंड द फर्टिलाइजेशन वी हैव टू हैव द नॉलेज ऑफ oogenesis process. Oogenesis we have discussed in the previous videos, the process of formation of an ovum. Actually, ovum is not formed during the oogenesis. It is not the ovum which is formed during the oogenesis. It is the secondary oocyte that is formed. Let us recall the oogenesis process once again so that we can understand the process of fertilization in detail. Here, during oogenesis, primary oocytes are formed. Consider this is a primary oocyte. This primary oocyte, it undergoes meiosis 1. Meiosis 1. If you recall the oogenesis, this meiosis 1 get arrested at the prophase 1. Now, it is completing its meiosis. That means the arrest is triggered out. This primary oocyte undergoes meiosis and results into the formation of two cells. Here, the cell division, meiosis 1 cell division, it is the unequal cell division. Here, cytoplasma get unequally distributed. As a result of that, a small cell is formed here and a large cell is formed. This unequal cell division, it is due to unequal cytokinesis, my dear friends. Now, this cell, it is called as a first polar body. It is the first polar body. Now, the cell which is formed here, it is called as a secondary oocyte. This secondary oocyte, it starts dividing. We know meiosis is consisting of two steps in it. Meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. By the end of meiosis 2, we'll get 4 cells. Here, we have completed the meiosis 1. Now, this cell is undergoing. What is this cell? This is a secondary oocyte. Secondary oocyte, it starts the meiosis. It starts the meiosis. Second, but arrested. Again, it is getting arrested. In meiosis 1 also, it got arrested at prophase 1. In meiosis 2, also it get arrested at metaphase 2. In metaphase 2, it get arrested. That means here we have the same cell. We have the same cell. It has not completed its meiosis second. Second meiosis is not completed because it get arrested at metaphase 2. मेटाफेज 2 के अंदर ये अरेस्ट हो गया, तो इसका मतलब है अब ये सेल को हम वी आर कॉलिंग इट एज अ सेकेंडरी oocyte itself. अभी तक हम इसको सेकेंडरी oocyte बुला रहे क्योंकि अभी इन्हें meiosis 2 कंप्लीट नहीं करा. This secondary oocyte, it completes its meiosis 2 only after the entry of the sperm. Only after the entry of sperm. That means during the menstrual cycles, females, they release their eggs on the 14th day. They are not actually the eggs which get released during the 14th day of menstrual cycle. They are the secondary oocytes. This type of secondary oocyte, it get released out from the ovary by rupturing the Graafian follicle. We have given a particular terminology for that release of secondary oocyte from the ovary by rupturing the Graafian follicle. It is ovulation. Ovulation. Ovulation takes place on the 14th day of menstrual cycles. During menstrual cycles, secondary oocytes get released. बहुत carefully सुनना है. Secondary oocytes release हो रहे, ovum release नहीं हो रहे. Now this is the arrested cell. It is the arrested cell. It has not completed its meiosis second. That is why it is arrested cell. Now, when there is a sexual intercourse in that female, if the female participates in the sexual activity, then the male person releases the sperm and the sperm comes and trigger this cell. The sperm comes and trigger this cell so that it can complete its meiosis second. So that it can complete its meiosis second. देखो कितना अजीब कॉन्सेप्ट है ये. मेंस्ट्रुअल साइकिल में सेकेंडरी oocyte रिलीज हो रहा, अगर वो सेकेंडरी oocyte स्पर्म के कांटेक्ट में आया तब जाके ये जो अरेस्टेड सेल है, जो कि मेटाफेज में अरेस्टेड था, मेटाफेज 2 में अरेस्टेड था, अब उन्हें meiosis 2 कंप्लीट कर रहा. नाउ हियर meiosis 2 completes. Meiosis 2 get completed. Then who triggers the secondary oocyte to complete that meiosis? अब एक सेल अरेस्ट है, वो अरेस्ट को रिलीज कौन करे? स्पर्म रिलीज करा. जैसे ही स्पर्म की एंट्री हुई तब ये सेल क्या करता? दो सेल्स बनाता, एक छोटा सेल, एक बड़ा सेल. अब ये छोटा सेल क्यों बना? Why this small cell is formed? Because of unequal cytokinesis. Now it is called as a second polar body. Now this cell, it is called as ovum. It is called as ovum. During menstrual cycle, ovum is not released. Egg is not released on the 14th day. It is the secondary oocyte that get released on the 14th day of menstrual cycle. This concept is very, very important, and this concept is applicable to understand the fertilization. इसीलिए मैं इसको थोड़ा और एक बार रिवाइज कर दिया. अगर ये अभी भी आपको नहीं समझ में आ रहा तो go back to my oogenesis video. oogenesis video को एक बार डिटेल में देख लो. Now then you will come to understand the concept. Okay. Coming back to our original discussion, that is fertilization. Fertilization to takes place, अगर fertilization होना है तो sexual intercourse होना बहुत ही जरूरी है. बिना sexual intercourse के fertilization possible नहीं है, क्योंकि fertilization का मतलब the fusion of sperm and egg. मेल गैमेट और फीमेल गैमेट दोनों का फ्यूज होना, इसको हम फर्टिलाइजेशन बुला रहे हैं. सो दैट द zygote कैन बी फॉर्म, सो दैट द बेबी कैन बी डेवलप्ड इन फ्यूचर इन द gestation period, in the pregnancy period. Now here we have the ovaries. Here I have drawn the entire female reproductive system to understand the process of fertilization in detail, because this fertilization is the very important concept for competitive exams as well as for board examination. Here there are some 1 mark, 2 mark definitions. I'll focus them. These are the two ovaries. Ovary releases the secondary oocyte. Consider this is the secondary oocyte. It get released from the ovary. Ovary releases secondary oocyte on the 14th day of menstrual cycle. Here एक चीज समझना बहुत ही जरूरी है. ಒಂದು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ವಿಷಯ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ಕೇಳ್ರಿ. menstrual cycle ಒಳಗಡೆ we have two ovaries. दोनों ओवरी से एग रिलीज नहीं होता. ಎರಡು ಓವರಿದಿಂದ ಎಗ್ ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಆಗಂಗಿಲ್ರಿ. Any one of the ovary will release the egg. For example, this month this ovary is releasing the egg. That means in the next month this ovary is releasing the egg. Because ultimately one baby has to develop inside the womb of the mother in a natural case. But in twins, we'll discuss the twins in our next videos, how the twins are formed. Twins ಹೆಂಗ್ ಹುಟ್ಟುಕೋತಾವ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ, ಅವಳಿ ಜೋಡಿ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಹುಟ್ಟುಕೋತಾವ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ next videos ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ನೋಡೋಣ. But in a normal case, every month one ovary will release one egg. अब ये ओवरी से एग रिलीज हो रहा, मतलब ये ओवरी से बिल्कुल भी एग रिलीज नहीं हो रहा. It is not actually the egg, it is the secondary oocyte that get released. This secondary oocyte detailed structure I have drawn here. This is the secondary oocyte. This kind of structure get released out from the ovary. Can we consider this process as a ovulation? This is ovulation. This is ovulation. Ovary releases egg on the 14th day of menstrual cycle. Now suddenly here above this ovary we have got a finger like projections. Consider this is the ovary, this is the ovary, and we have a finger like projections like this that is covering the egg. These finger like projections are fimbriae. These fimbriae, they catch that secondary oocyte. This secondary oocyte, it get caught by the fimbriae. As a result of that, now the secondary oocyte is here. Secondary oocyte is here. In a funnel like structure, that is infundibulum. Who catches the released ovary? It is the fimbriae. A finger like projections. They suck the ovary by a suction pressure. They suck the ovary by a suction they suck the secondary oocyte released by the ovary by a suction pressure. Now the secondary oocyte is inside the infundibulum. This secondary oocyte, it get transported to the ampulla. We know fallopian tube has got three very important parts. We have isthmus, ampulla and infundibulum. This three things, they together they are called as the fallopian tube. It's a long tube. This entire tube it is called as fallopian tube. Now the secondary oocyte comes and rests at the ampullary region. Now you may ask the question, sir, female gamete motile illalri. Female gametes are not motile. Then how these secondary oocytes get transported up to the ampulla? Ampulla तनका हैंग होदु. Ampulla तक कैसे गए? क्योंकि female gametes are not motile. बिना motility के ये कैसे गए? It is because of the ciliary movements. The inner line of the fallopian tube, it consists of a small hair-like structures. They are ciliated epithelial tissues. Ciliated epithelial tissue. The inner lining of this fallopian tube is consisting of a small hair-like structures. These small hair-like structures, they push the secondary oocyte up to the ampulla. Then who transported the secondary oocyte from infundibulum to the ampulla? It is the cilia. They are all cilia. Now the female gamete, it is not actually the female gamete, it is the secondary oocyte. The secondary oocyte comes and rests at the ampullary region. If at that time this female, if she had a sexual intercourse, if she had coitus, sexual intercourse is technically called as coitus. If she had a coitus, then the male person releases the sperms. Here the sperms get released during the sexual activity. During the sexual intercourse, male person deposits the sperms into the vagina with the help of penis. They are all sperms. Who deposits these sperms? The male person deposits the sperms inside the vagina. That deposition of sperms into the vagina, it is called as insemination. It is called as insemination. Very important for 1 mark. What is insemination? Release of or deposition of sperms into the vagina during coitus. Coitus means sexual intercourse is technically called as coitus. Now the male person releases. Then the question may arise, how many sperms are released in one sexual activity, in one sexual intercourse? In one ejaculation or at one time insemination, approximately 200 to 300 million sperms are inseminated. How many sperms are inseminated during the sexual activity? Approximately 200 to 300 million sperms are inseminated during the coitus. As soon as these sperms get deposited inside the vagina, we know vaginal environment is slightly acidic. This environment, vaginal fluid, is slightly acidic. Due to that acidic environment, here I am writing, due to the acidic environment, due to acidic environment in vagina, some of the weak sperms, physically weak, physiologically weak sperms die. That means 200 to 300 million sperms रिलीज हुए सो है, उसमें से थोड़े स्पर्म्स मर रहे. क्यों मर रहे? ड्यू टू दी एसिडिक एनवायरनमेंट. वेजाइना के अंदर एसिडिक एनवायरनमेंट है, वेजाइना के अंदर एसिड है, वो एसिड की वजह से जो भी वीक स्पर्म्स हैं उन्हें मर जा रहे. देन these sperms, they are deposited by a male person. That means for the female these sperms are foreign particles. ये फीमेल के लिए फॉरेन पार्टिकल्स हैं, बाहर से ऐसे पार्टिकल्स हैं. मेल डिपॉजिट करा, ये फीमेल के नहीं है स्पर्म्स, मेल के स्पर्म्स हैं. तो फीमेल बॉडी रिएक्ट करना स्टार्ट कर देती. जैसे आंखों में डस्ट गिरा, आंखों से आंसू आना शुरू होते, आंखों में जलन शुरू होती, आंखों में खुजली शुरू, इचिंग शुरू होती. क्यों हो रही? क्योंकि जब कभी भी फॉरेन पार्टिकल हमारी बॉडी के अंदर जाता तो हमारी बॉडी वो फॉरेन पार्टिकल के खिलाफ रिएक्ट करना शुरू कर देती, उसको मारना शुरू कर देती, एंटीबॉडीज को बनाना शुरू कर देती. तो इसका मतलब जैसे ही स्पर्म्स रिलीज हो गए, द फीमेल बॉडी considered these sperms as a foreign particle. As a result of that, the female body produces phagocytes. Female body produces phagocytes to destroy the sperms. For a female, sperms are the foreign particles. For a female, the sperms are the foreign particles. Due to this, female phagocytes. Female phagocytes. Phagocytes means they are the engulfing cells. Phago means engulf. Cyte means cells. They are the cells that engulfs the foreign particle, that swallows the foreign particle. So, female phagocytes kill some of the sperms. Some of the sperms get killed by the phagocytes, and some of the sperms get killed by the acidic environment. How many sperms get released during the coitus? 200 to 300. Imagine, remember this figure. अब इसके अंदर थोड़े मर जा रहे हैं. मरने के बाद the third very important process that takes place inside the vagina is capacitation. Capacitation. It is very, very important for competitive exams, because in the previous NEET question paper, based on this concept, so many questions were asked. Capacitation. As the male person releases the sperms inside the vagina starts secreting the fluid. It is called as vaginal secretion. As the male person deposits the sperms into the vagina, then the vagina starts secreting a fluid that is called as vaginal secretion. And this vaginal secretion is helpful for activation of the sperms. Here what is happening? Vagina is secreting a fluid, a liquid. Vagina is secreting a fluid that activates the sperms. That activates the sperm. This process of activation of sperms by the vaginal secretion, it is called as capacitation. Now the sperms get physiologically active. The sperms get functionally active. Due to this capacitation process, now the sperms, they start rushing, they start moving through the cervix, through the cervical canal. Ultimately they reach to the uterus here. They start swimming towards the egg so that they can fertilize. All these sperms, they are in a race. They are rushing towards the female gamete. During this race, during this swimming process, some of the sperms, they get destroyed. Some of the sperms, they get damaged during this race, because here we have got a very narrow cervical canal. अगर ये narrow छोटा सा तंग गलियों से जब गुजर रहे sperms, तो एक दूसरे को टक्कर मार के कोई स्पर्म का हेड टूट रहा, कोई स्पर्म का टेल टूट रहा, कोई स्पर्म का मिडिल पीस डैमेज हो रहा, ऐसा होके अल्टीमेटली थोड़े स्पर्म्स बच जा रहे. दैट मीन्स हियर few sperms get destroyed. Few sperms destroyed during swimming. During swimming or during rushing towards the female gamete. Now, all these sperms, they reaches the uterus here. Then they have two possible ways to go. इनके सामने दो रास्ते हैं, या अब इन्हों इधर जाना या फिर अब इन्हों इधर जाना. यहाँ पर तो कोई सिग्नल का लाइट नहीं है, यहाँ पर कोई ट्रैफिक पुलिस नहीं खड़ा हुआ है जो इनको बता सके कि हाँ फीमेल गैमेट इधर बैठे सो इधर जाओ बोल के. तो इसीलिए some of the sperms, they go to this fallopian tube. They go to this fallopian tube in search of female gamete. They are moving towards this fallopian tube in search of the female gamete, because we don't have any indication located here to guide these sperms. Here some of the sperms, they get entered here in this fallopian tube. Some of the sperms, they get entered. Ultimately, finally, approximately, here I am writing, approximately 200 sperms reach near the ovum. It is not ovum, it is secondary oocyte. Approximately 200 sperms, they reach near the secondary oocyte. Out of these 200, कितने थे पहले स्टार्टिंग में रिलीज हुए जब? 200 मिलियन थे. 200 मिलियन से सिर्फ 200. And out of these 200 sperms, only one sperm will fertilize the egg. Only one sperm. Only one sperm fertilize. Only one sperm will fertilize the egg. 2 million get released. Some of them they get killed by the acidic environment, and some of them they get killed by the phagocytes, and some of they get damaged by damaged during the journey, and some of them they went into a wrong direction, and some of them they reach ultimately to the secondary oocyte, and the number is approximately 200 sperms they reach, and out of these 200 sperms, only one sperm can fertilize the egg. Now here so many sperms they get attached to the secondary oocyte like this. They are all in a competition. They are all competing with each other to fertilize this female gamete. Now let us understand what is happening next. What is happening next? Here, this is the same secondary oocyte that I have enlarged here. The same secondary oocyte I have enlarged here. Here so many sperms, they reach the egg. So many sperms they reach the egg. This secondary oocyte cell, this is the secondary oocyte cell. This is the plasma membrane of the secondary oocyte, and it is also called as vitelline membrane. This is the plasma membrane. This is also called as vitelline membrane. Here we have the nucleus of this secondary oocyte. Here we have a non-cellular membrane, that is zona pellucida, red color. Zona pellucida, jelly, sticky, gelatinous, non-cellular membrane, it is zona pellucida. Now there is a space between vitelline membrane and a zona pellucida. There is a space here, there is a space between vitelline membrane and a zona pellucida. This space it is called as perivitelline space. It is the perivitelline space. Now towards the complete outer side of this secondary oocyte, we have a radiating cells. These cells are corona radiata cells. We have discussed the structure of the secondary oocyte in the previous video. Now, ultimately these sperms they reach this egg, secondary oocyte. As soon as they reach, consider this sperm reaches the first. This sperm I am talking about. This sperm it reaches the secondary oocyte. Running race के अंदर इन्हें first आया समझो, बाद में इन्हें second आया, then इन्हें third आया, इन्हें fourth आया समझो. ऐसे बहुत सारे रहते हैं अभी भी. In the zona pellucida, we have some receptors. In the zona pellucida, we have some receptors here located like this. There are some receptors here. Here also we have a receptor. There are many such receptors are present in the zona pellucida. All these receptors, they are called, कहाँ पे लिखूं? Here I am erasing this. They are called the ZP3 receptors. ZP3 receptors. ZP stands for zona pellucida, and 3 is the number given. ZP3 receptors, zona pellucida, third type of receptors are located here. And these receptors, they receive the sperm. They will decide कौन फर्स्ट है, कौन सेकंड है, कौन थर्ड है. अभी रनिंग रेस के जजेस कौन है? ZP3 receptors. ZP3 receptors डिसाइड करती हैं, हाँ दिस इज द विनर. इन्हें फर्स्ट आया. सो इन्हें फर्स्ट आने के बाद they are not only receiving, the name itself giving the meaning. If they are the receptors, that means they will receive something. अगर इन्हों receptors हैं बोले तो किसको तो भी रिसीव कर रहे हैं. किसको रिसीव कर रहा है? स्पर्म्स को रिसीव कर रहा है. स्पर्म्स को रिसीव कर रहा है. ZP3 receptors, they receive the sperms and they identify the sperms. Sperm identification is also very, very important, my dear friends. Whether it is a human sperm or any other sperm, that get recognized by the ZP3 receptors. They receive the sperms and they identify the sperm. Now the sperm get identified. This is the winner. This sperm get identified and received by this ZP3 receptor. Then if you recall the structure of the sperm, अगर sperm का थोड़ा structure याद कर लो. Sperm has got head, neck, middle piece and a tail. Here is the sperm. This is the head portion. This is the middle piece, and here we have a long tail like this. Here we have a long tail. This is the structure of the sperm. Inside the head there are two things. One is a nucleus and the other one is acrosome like this. This is the acrosome and this is the nucleus. Acrosome is derived from the Golgi complex and it is consisting of three very important hydrolytic enzymes. What are the three very important hydrolytic enzymes present in the acrosome? Please comment in the comment box given below my YouTube video. अगर देखे हैं structure of sperm, अगर याद है, अगर नहीं भी याद है और एक बार जाके देखो, देख के नीचे कमेंट बॉक्स पे कमेंट करो ये कौन से तीन एंजाइम्स है जो कि एक्रोसोम में रहते. These enzymes get released. These enzymes, they get released here. And I'm making some space to show the enzymes. Here we have the acrosome. Acrosome releases the enzymes. Three very important enzymes get released. These enzymes, they break the corona radiata. They dissolve the corona radiata. And they break the zona pellucida also. Zona pellucida is also getting broken down. And now this sperm, after breaking the corona radiata, zona pellucida, and ultimately it reaches here to the vitelline membrane. It reaches the vitelline membrane. As soon as it reaches the vitelline membrane, then the entry of other sperms is blocked. The entry of other sperms get blocked. क्यों रुक रहा है entry? क्योंकि ultimately one sperm has to fertilize the egg. Because we have got only one egg here. That is why we need only one male gamete to fertilize that female gamete. So as soon as it reaches the vitelline membrane, the entry for other sperms, it get blocked. It get blocked. How it get blocked? How it get blocked? That is also very interesting concept. How these entries, they get blocked. Listen very carefully, my dear friends. As the sperm, the first sperm that reaches the vitelline membrane, this vitelline membrane starts secreting certain enzymes. Vitelline membrane starts secreting certain enzymes. Consider they are the enzymes which get secreted. Here the enzymes get secreted. Who secretes these enzymes? The vitelline membrane secrete these enzymes only after the sperm reaches the vitelline membrane. जैसे ही ये sperm आके vitelline membrane को टच करा तो vitelline membrane एक enzymes को रिलीज कर दिए. बहुत सारे enzymes हैं, बहुत सारे enzymes. These enzymes they go and destroy these receptors. कौन से receptors? ZP3 receptors. ZP3 receptors को destroy कर दे रहे हैं. ZP3 receptors they get destroyed. They get destroyed here. If they get destroyed, there is no one to receive the sperm. बिना रिसीवर के स्पर्म कैसा अंदर आ सकता? रिसीवर इतने हैं वहां पे, ZP3 रिसेप्टर्स इतने हैं. तो अब ZP3 रिसेप्टर्स को कौन डिस्ट्रॉय करे? The enzymes secreted by the vitelline membrane. अब vitelline membrane कब वो enzymes को secrete करा? Only after the stimulation given by this sperm. Now, during this entire journey of breaking the corona radiata, zona pellucida, and ultimately plasma membrane is also broken down. Plasma membrane along with the plasma membrane of the sperm. Here, this entire sperm, it is covered with a plasma membrane here. This is getting ruptured now. It has already get dissolved. Acrosome से release होके enzymes गए सो है. Now where is this? What is this? Nucleus it is. This nucleus, which is in the head region, it get released into the cell. It get released here. It get released here. Now this nucleus, it is the male pronucleus. Who releases the male pronucleus? Sperm releases the male pronucleus. As soon as this nucleus is inside the secondary oocyte cell, then this secondary oocyte, it completes its meiosis II, which get arrested here. Here I have explained that concept at the beginning of my lecture. At the metaphase 2, the cell get arrested. Now this cell is getting divided. First the nucleus is getting divided, a small nucleus is formed, a small cell is formed, and this is the rest of the large cell. Here two cells are formed. Here two cells are formed like this. This is one cell, this is the first cell, and this is the second cell. This small cell and large cell, it is also because of unequal cytokinesis. Unequal cytokinesis होने की वजह से एक छोटा सेल एक बड़ा सेल बना. ये कब हुआ? meiosis II कब कंप्लीट हुआ? जैसे ही स्पर्म की एंट्री हुई, जैसे ही स्पर्म उसको स्टिमुलेट करा, the arrested cell at the metaphase 2 of meiosis II get triggered by the entry of the sperm. Now this is called as ovum. Now this is called as ovum, and it is called as second polar body. We know this polar body get degenerated. It get degenerated. Secondary polar body get degenerated. Secondary polar body get degenerated. As the secondary polar body get degenerated, what we have? We have a nucleus of ovum and we have a nucleus of male. Now this is called as female pronucleus. Female pronucleus. This is also a haploid nucleus. This is also the haploid nucleus because these two nucleuses are the result of meiosis. That is why they are the two haploid nucleus. Now these two haploid nucleus, they fuse together. They fuse together. They fuse together. As a result of that, haploid, this becomes diploid zygote. This becomes diploid zygote. This is the entire process of fertilization, my dear friends. That fertilization takes place here. That means by the end of our lecture, here zygote is formed. Here zygote is formed. And this zygote is haploid or diploid? It is diploid. It is diploid. This diploid zygote, what is going to happen to this? What is the fate of this diploid zygote? In future, this zygote will come and get implanted in the endometrial wall. That we'll discuss in our next video. If you have any queries, any questions, ask me in the comment box given below in my YouTube video. And if you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do subscribe to the YouTube channel so that you can get the more future videos in the future for second year PUC. Thank you so much.